Hey, happy Thursday, everyone. Hope you had a good week. Missed you last week. Was at the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child play. It's fantastic. If you have the opportunity to see it, highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Hey, Raghurai. Is that how you pronounce your name? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Hope you've been having a good week. I'm always in a mad rush to try to set things up by 6. Alright, I gotta do something different with chat. I gotta figure out. Rye, alright. Got a nickname. Makes it easy. Recently moved to San Francisco for a job hunt. Ooh, welcome. There are tons of jobs. That's a great segue, by the way. I'll do my quick intro. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. Super excited to have you with us tonight. My name is Adam Ruff. I'm a product designer at AngelList, and I do this streaming pretty much every Thursday unless I have something crazy going on, like Harry Potter. But yeah, I'm here to answer questions, share stuff, work on stuff, meet new people. And tonight's going to be quite a bit of that. I got quite a few things to share. I've got a portfolio review to do. And Rye here said that they're looking for a job in San Francisco. So I'm going to do a quick plug for my company, AngelList. So if you head over to angel.co/jobs, yes. This is a fantastic place to find really cool startup jobs. Learn a lot. We've got great filtering. The talent team is doing some amazing work and keep making this even better. I'm on a different team. I'm on the venture team, so I'm on the money side of getting startups funded and helping investors get startups the money they need to do the awesome stuff that they do. And yeah, that's my quick little pitch for AngelList. Highly recommend. Alrighty, what else do I want to pitch real quick? UX design contest. So I've been fortunate enough to be working with Lisa, who's been volunteering and helping me out with a bunch of stuff. So really excited. I am going to run a UX contest this month. The plan is I'll probably talk a little bit more about it next week because I want to launch it on Valentine's Day. It'll be 2 weeks. It's going to be super fun. Really excited about this one, and also experimenting with some new marketing tactics and strategies to try to get more people involved. That's really my personal goal for the first contest of 2020. So if you aren't already on the mailing list, I'll just pop the link in there. You can add your email. I think we have almost 2,000 or so designers on the mailing list, so there's a ton of people interested. Really hoping to try to convert those into entries in 2020. So that's that. Next, I know one thing I'm gonna do. I didn't tweet out that we're live, but that's all right. I'm just gonna skip that today. Let's see how we can do it. Okay. Show and tell time. Oh, Rise got a comment here. Thanks for streaming on YouTube instead of Zoom. Oh yeah, no problem. I used to stream on Twitch when I was working at Twitch. That's actually how I got started as dog fooding. I was working on tools and experiences for creators, so I wanted to see, okay, what's it like to be a creator? And I got hooked. I found it's a lot of fun. I moved over to YouTube maybe, I don't know, middle of last year. It saves me so much time, because on Twitch, if you wanted to keep the videos around, then you have to take the time to download them, and then you're uploading them to YouTube, and there's all this other stuff that I really don't want to worry about. And so YouTube's great. I'm just hop on live. Once I'm done, I stop, and that video's ready for anyone else to go check out. So yeah, I think it's a pretty happy home so far. There's tons of stuff that could be better. I feel like every team and every designer who's working on streaming stuff should really eat their own dog food, because there's a ton of frustrating stuff. Let's say there's tons of opportunities for improvement. All right. Show and tell time. Kind of show and tell. I have some things to share, things that I've discovered in the past week or so that I think are pretty cool, and I think they might be valuable for other designers too. And the first thing that I want to start with is something called WayMark. So a couple things I really love about this. It's super simple. It's very, very focused. It does one little job. And I'll actually, let's see if I can find, I've made tools like this in the past. So like a dimension calculator. I was doing a lot of 16 by 9 images, and I'd be like, all right, well, it's got to be 900 wide, 506 tall. Okay, cool. This is a super simple, very dumb tool, but it helps me get the job done. And this WayMark, I think, is in a similar vein. If you're ever trying to create a little roadmap diagram, this web tool can make it super easy. And I'll show you. I want to plug the link here. There we go. Keep track of that. You don't need to sign up or anything. You can make it. Here's one that I was doing, right? So for UX design contest, I was thinking about the 2020 roadmap. I was looking at calendars and planning out. I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 contests this year. I thought, all right, get to 20. It's 2020, get to contest 20. So I was able to kind of map this out. It's got simple things like if you want to highlight it as a waypoint, and then it's very simple to add or remove. And then you can download an image. It's not super high res image. So I found what I actually did when I was exporting this image, I zoomed in really big, like about as big as I can, like right here. And then I took a screenshot, and that actually is a higher resolution image than the image that's downloaded. So maybe maybe I can shoot Rainer an email or a message and say, hey, can you include options for higher res images? This is pretty cool. Jenny says, Jenny uses SlideQuest. I haven't heard of SlideQuest, so now I have to check that out. Thanks, Jenny. Welcome. I'm starting to type in Jenny. SlideQuest. It's the end of the day. I've had a long day. All right, SlideQuest official. Oh, there's this like fun game, but I'm guessing that's not quite what it is. I'm guessing it's this. Save time and effort. Cool. Let's check out SlideQuest. Convert your data into beautiful presentations and infographics. Whoa! Ho, ho. I see. All right. Oh man. All right, I think we're gonna have to kick the tires on this. This is pretty cool. I'm assuming you can start for free. We'll notify you. No, I don't want to be notified. Get full access now. Oh, I see. It's a paywall. All right, maybe something to expense though for work. We'll see. Is there any way to try it out for free? Not free though. All right, I should finish reading the comments. All right, it does look like a great source of like inspiration, being able to like grab something and just tweak a few elements. I'm trying to think of the other. I'll have to come back. In a previous contest, I actually had a resource that had some really nice Google Slides, like template, like beautiful, really creative stuff. This looks awesome. All right, let's get this one up in chat as well. Make sure we share that link. Rise on version 11. Keep polishing. Ralph says everyone seems to be switching to Figma. Not me. Not me, not yet. I love Sketch. I find I haven't tried Figma within the past 2 or 3 months. But every time I have to use it, I just find it super annoying. And I also don't need the things that it's really good at. So I'm like diehard Sketch for now. I'm gonna be exploring Framer because I really want to bridge the gap between design and code as quickly as possible. But we do have the talent team at AngelList is actually experimenting with Figma. All right, WayMark, cool. We shared that. 60 seconds of feedback rag. 60 seconds is very limited, but let me plug my thing. We'll see if we have time. I've got one for Nicholas that I'm gonna do. We'll see if we can squeeze in a few minutes. You're probably gonna learn a lot that's applicable because I try to speak in terms of themes and general strategies as well as, you know, specific nitty-gritty. So I think you'll get a bunch out of it that you can take and use. So hang around. And we're not going to do that one yet. I discovered this on Product Hunt. Milan Note. Tip to people when they create names of brands and companies. If it's really ambiguous how to say the name of your company, like, teach people how to say it. It's like, what? I do this little thing, right? Adam Ruff, because it's like, people are like, rough, roof. Yeah, those are 2 good options. Rhymes with stuff. Back to this Milan Note. I'm just going to call it Milan Note. I don't even like that name. I don't even know. I don't get it. Anyways, I'm going to sign up for free real quick. I saw this as like a fun way for designers to easily create mood boards and other things. So I thought I would use it. I would kick the tires on it as creating a quick, oh man, oh yes, sign up with Google. Thank you. I love this so much more than creating an account. I love sign up with Google. Oh my goodness, which of these best describes you? Happy. Can you do multiple things? Interesting, digital designer. Happy product designer. Get that into the unique one. Drag out a new board from here. My eyes are super blurry today. So if I'm reading things incorrectly, bear with me. Drag out a new board from here to get started. Can you, before I do that, I'm gonna see, can I click on it? You have to drag. So actually I find this super annoying. If you're ever building something where you can drag things, great. Yay, dragging. Please also make it easy for people just to click. Like, there's no reason I should have to click and drag to do this, right? I should be able to click and see this new board. My new board is going to be UX Design Contest number 12. And now I have to double click the board to open it. Like, why did okay. You probably didn't need to tell me that. But why couldn't I have just got into here? Notice that the top bar has updated to show you're inside the board. Okay, that's like basic information architecture. They're really helping me out here. Oh, and now there's two things at once. Ah, what do I do? Project plan. Moodboard. I like this, how it gives you, well, empty board. I like how it gives you examples of what's going on. That's kind of cool. Project plan, top pick. Then why isn't this the default one? Use this template. Okay, get out of my way. Thank you. Alrighty. About the project, so I can add a tab. Oh my goodness. No, I don't want desktop notifications. Alright, so, oh, there's about the project. I'm just gonna list some tasks that I know I need to do. Draft some tweets to announce contest launch. Write the launch email. Record a short video introducing the contest. What else do you finish contest webpage. Ooh, I need to create contest submission form. And that's pretty much it. Schedule tweets, maybe? Oh, and LinkedIn. Let's draft some LinkedIn things. I'm gonna see if I can drag these things around in just a second. Draft some LinkedIn posts to announce contest launch. I think there's other thing I want to do. I want to search for design communities for posting. Example designer. Is it designer news? Hacker news? Designer news? You can see how often I use it. Yeah, it's a thing. All right, great. Literally only go there to +1 some friend's post or to post my own thing. All right. Cool. And let's see. I can move these. Great. Schedule tweets and LI posts. Ooh. How do I do more? Enter. Draft email to designer friends for resharing. Oh, right, you've got a Slack group? Hang on. The one thing I don't like about YouTube is they don't make it easy to allow links. So hang on here. I think there's a way to do this. Did I just take over my tab? Or okay, cool. Oh yeah, it's so annoying. I can't enter your name. Right, I have to like go to your find your channel. Hang on. You can see this is like a really annoying thing for YouTube Live. Wait a minute, that didn't seem to work. Hey, if you want to share the link, it's probably not showing up. It might show up for you, but let me put in my Twitter link and just DM me. Why am I typing it? I guess so I can see it. Oh, we don't need to see all my private Twitter stuff. Twitter.com/UX_Adam. All right, there is the link. You can DM me and then let me know. I'm sorry there's no like better way. There's literally no option to just say like let people use links. Oh, see, look at this. Live chat messages with URLs will be blocked. You moderators and approved users can still post links. Well, what's an approved user? Like, to approve users, use the flag menu on the comments page. All right, maybe I'm learning something new here. Always approve. Always approve. Always approve. Always approve. Always really? I have to go through and do all of that? That just seems so ridiculous. And these are only for comments, not even for chat. Oh my goodness. So, welcome to streamer life. I will say Twitch does much better with allowing, you can turn on the ability for anyone to put a link. So, did I save any changes? I don't think I did anything. Comments on videos. See, these are all comments on videos. Messages and live chat. Yeah, nothing. I didn't change anything, so. Whoop, that's the next thing I'm gonna share. We'll get to that in just a minute. I suppose I should open up Twitter though, so I can see. Here we go. Accept. Cool. Feel welcome to post that link. Alrighty. Gotta figure out a better way to do this. I will think on that. I will think on that. I'm gonna just put in this next steps here. So I'll come back to this. Figure out a way, an easy way, an easy workaround to allow people in YouTube live chat to share a link with me. Yeah, okay, cool. And then let's see, this is Valentine's Day contest, so what is this, something I click into? Okay, so here's a mood board. And now it's showing a template. Surprise, surprise, mood board, the top pick is mood board. Now what? What do you do here? New note. Hello. Okay. I see. You can link to things. You can add an image. Recommended. Okay, you can search Unsplash. Valentine's. So I can look for some images. That's kind of cool because these are all from Unsplash, so I know these are free to use. Ooh, wow, that was kind of neat. I don't know if it shows up in the video very well, but we got like a little wobble going on when you move fast. Some physics. It's kind of fun. Sprinkles. Okay. Hearts. Some roses. Sounds kind of fun. I don't, is this a street? Is this street art? Graffiti kind of stuff? Cool. Alright, cool. So I've got some images that maybe will inspire me. Alright, and I go back here. it'd be nice if it had something more interesting than just this. And this, like the thing with 10 cards looks exactly the same as the thing with 0 cards. This might be a good design surgery candidate. Like, improve this tool. But all right, I mean, yeah, it lets you do that stuff. I don't know this makes me want to use this tool more than something like Notion or other tools that I'm already using. Oh, I see I misunderstood what Rye's saying. He's sharing the stream link, the live stream link in his their Slack group. That's fantastic. All right, thank you. I sorry I misinterpreted that. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. Alrighty, and I've got your link to your portfolio site, it looks like. Fantastic. Come back to that a bit. Alright, so that's Milan Note. Okay. It's like, it was pretty easy to make a to-do list, get the mood board, but doesn't feel to me like it can really compete with, let's see, is this gonna log me in? Don't log me in. I need to open up incognito. It's the trouble when you're trying to share stuff and you're always logged into things. It's hard to share. So this is my current, this is what I'm using at AngelList. That's where I first started using it, and using it more and more for personal things as well. Documents. Ooh, I have one that I can even share and maybe show. So let me find it real quick here. So I believe this is public. So yes, it's public. I'm going to copy the page link. I'm going to open it up here. This is a Notion document. So let's close my workspace. So Janice, maybe she's in Japan right now because she said she was heading there early February. I hope she's there, and I hope she's having a fantastic, amazing time. And it's her first time there, and so I thought, oh, I'm going to put together some recommendations. And I'm like, there's probably other people who haven't been to Japan yet who might benefit from these. So why don't I just make a public page? So this is the page. I added this background image from Unsplash. What's cool about Notion is everything that you type is basically this little element, right? And you can move it around. You can move everything around. You can change it, right? So I can turn this into to do or anything else. You can create these toggles, right? So you can keep documents collapsed. You can link to things. This Notion is super cool. So let me post this link. If anyone is thinking about going to Japan, here's some of my tips. I'm trying to think what else is super cool about Notion. Actually, I'm really curious. If it's convenient, anyone in chat, can you go to this link that I just posted? I'm curious to see if it shows any indicator of other people on this document, because when I'm using it with my team, and for example, we're reading a document, you can see a list of people's avatars up top, and you can also track their avatar as it's going down the page, so you can see where they're at, which is kind of funny. And I've never experienced what the public version is like. Is there a little anonymous thing, or does it just not show anything? Anyways, if you do happen to go on this page while we're streaming, opened. Okay, it doesn't look like it. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks for checking it out. All right, so for public pages, you don't get in. It's not like the Google Doc where you get like anonymous animals. armadillos and giraffes and things. It's just invisible. I guess that's cool. You really, if it's public, right? Imagine there were thousands of people here. That would be pretty distracting with all the stuff bouncing around. So that makes sense. Alrighty. What do I want to share next? Unless you're just getting up from hibernation, you've probably heard about the coronavirus. It started in Wuhan, China. It's where most of the infections are happening. And if you're curious like me to track and see how this thing is spreading and keeping your eye on things, this app was made by a group from Taiwan, and it's pretty cool. You can actually embed different portions of it. You can just look at these different kind of charts, see how infections are going along. You can see a list of countries. US kind of looks near the middle of the pack of top infections. The death rate, just sad. The recovery rate, just happy. Yeah, I think it's just it answers the question, like, this thing gets updated faster than the news. I feel like just looking at this site every once in a while, I stay way more informed than listening or reading the news. So this is another find that I thought was cool. I don't know, I feel like there's so many places that do this. They do these numbers without having commas. It drives me nuts. Just put that comma there. Boom. Put that comma there. You can do it. To me, it just numbers past 1,000 that don't have commas in it just look like they're errors or sloppy. Oop, here's one more. Going through and hacking this. Might as well take a screenshot of this too. We'll get and use it to get opinions. Okay, we'll take a screenshot real quick. So this is with commas. And then if I just refresh the page, it's going to be without commas. And now I can create a simple comparison test and say, which do you prefer? Because I'm curious. Do other designers prefer with or without commas? All right. Next up on this sharing spree, we have something that I think is a really cool tool. I'm super excited to start using it. I was actually trying to figure out how I can use it tonight, and I couldn't figure it out. So I'll do we'll figure out a workaround here. Why is it a blank screen? Okay, here we go. It's called Snack This. I'm guessing that's a tortilla chip. Yum. I've actually been waiting for some tools like this because I think there's a great opportunity, especially in live streaming, to have fun with animated text and animations to make points. So what's going on with this thing? All right. I'll show the one I made first. Is there a way to loop? Does anyone know if in QuickTime Player, is there a way to loop a video? Edit. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to the Google. Actually, let's just make it here. I'll just recreate it. Why bother messing around with this stuff? I'll show you how it's done. It's super easy. It's not like you need me to show you. You're smart. You can do it too. But I will recreate what I did. I'll have to remember what I did. that's why it actually is helpful for me to see. All right. Okay, got it. Hey designers, product design office hours starts soon. Okay. And what I was going to do is I was going to have this cool animation playing when I start, like an update for my old-timey, old-school little animation. So you can press Shift and Enter to move on to the next. And so you put in some text, and then you get, what is this, a dozen or so different ways that you can animate them. And so I picked this one, and then originally when I first checked this out, like they're updating this quite regularly enough to make it remarkable. It was squares, and I'm like, all right, squares are nice, but not that great for streaming because I want the 16:9 aspect ratio. So they actually added that in. So now it's this. And then I saw, oh, cool, you can do black, and you can also now customize the palette. So then I was able to, as you see, oh wow, it stored it? How does it know who I am? That's amazing. So I actually got my black that I used for my website and my red color for my website, and this is the color palette that I'm using. So this is the cool animation that I wanted to play, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. But it's also not it's not high res yet. I received one of those emails from the person who created this, you know, where they like reach out and say like, hey, excited you know, are using the product, and let me know if you have any questions. And so I responded with, yeah, are you going to be releasing high resolution video 1080p? Right now they do 720p, which is okay, but not quite as high quality as the stream. And he said, yeah, they're working on it. So I'm excited to do more of these things. You can imagine like other use cases too, right? Like if I'm doing a portfolio review and I say something like, the most important question to answer in a case study is why. Right? So I could create these like little nuggets. And you could imagine something like this. And then I'm talking about it, and then I say something, and then I switch to this thing in the middle of the video. That's kind of cool, right? It's like on the fly video editing. That's what gets me really excited. That's what gets me excited about this Snack This tool, about the potential to experiment with using these as part of live streaming. So check it out. If you make something, feel welcome to share it with me. I'm curious to see what you come up with and create. And if you have ideas for the creators, they seem pretty open to questions and feedback. So let them know what you want to see. All right, I think I'm looking at what these other things are. Okay, that's a SlideQuest. Got it. Trying to keep track of these things. Cool. I think we're ready to move into portfolio review time. It's a good chance to drink some water. Okay. So tonight I'm going to be looking at Nicholas's portfolio and maybe Rise too. A little bit of time. Do this pretty quick because I also want to spend a little bit of time getting some of those to-dos for the design contest ready. So if you haven't seen me do portfolio review before, I'm going to check out the homepage. I'm going to try to check out a case study if I can find it, maybe the about page, and just kind of fresh eyes feedback, talk about high-level themes and things that I think are important for making a great first impression with your portfolio, and think about anything else I can share that might help Nicholas further improve his portfolio. So with that said, let's check it out. All right, so first impression, first thing I'm looking for, name, good. The other two things I'm looking for is a title, right? What kind of title is this person looking for, right? UX designer, aspiring UX designer, that's interesting. And then I'm looking for a special power or secret sauce. I think I'll backtrack a little bit. So an aspiring UX designer, assuming that you've done some work, which it looks like Nicholas has done some work, just take out the aspiring. Like, literally all you need to do to give yourself a title is do some of the work. If you can provide some evidence that you've done some UX design work, meaning the tasks and responsibilities, don't need to talk about aspiring, right? There's no like official accreditation or licensing. Like, here's my UX designer license. Nope. So I would recommend Nicholas to just cut that. I do like that he's clear about what he's trying to do. Oh, I should show what I'm doing here. So I'm just hacking away, trying to find the cursor. There we go. Boom. Nicholas, a UX designer with a keen interest in interaction design. Okay, what I always recommend for people to do when they think about what they put there, and let's see, am I a total hypocrite? No, not really. Mine's fairly specific, but also a bit fluffy. Ask the question, right? A keen interest in interaction design. Does this rise to the level of superpower or secret sauce? I would say no, because if I do my little test, if I ask people in chat, if I ask 100 designers, are you interested in interaction design? If 90 or more of those designers say yes, then it's probably like, take it for granted. It doesn't need to be spoken. So I think Nicholas has a great opportunity to think about what's unique. What's unique that he brings to the table that he wants to highlight, and replace this highlighted text with that secret sauce, that superpower. At the moment, there's a typo. It's always good to get people to look at it. I bet you Nicholas looked at that 100 times. But when you're really close to things, it's really hard to see little things like that. Someone else walking and looking at it for the first time, it stands out. But if you're working on it, you're very close to the stuff you're working on. That's why it's always great to stop every once in a while and get some fresh eyes feedback. UX intern or junior. So yeah, I think that's great. In general, for text, think about how you can say things short. Shorter the better. Short beats good. Short beats clever. So for example, you don't need at the moment, right? I'll show you. Let me refresh this. I'll show you a process that I actually use when I'm trying to improve text and shorten it. I use a tool called Hemingway. This Hemingway editor. You can find it hemingwayapp.com, I believe. Yep, this is it. I can put that in chat for you. Boom. All right. back to oh, of course, I wrote over my clipboard contents. There we go. So you can even see Hemingway flags this as a hard to read sentence. And usually that means it's just too long, too wordy. I'm looking for my next full-time role as a UX design intern or junior designer. Within a professional workspace? Yeah, sure. I mean, everyone wants to work in a professional workspace. Don't need that, right? Next full-time, well, UX design intern isn't really a full-time role. It might be helpful to specify like what you're looking for. Maybe just go for junior designer and also apply to internships. Or maybe you talk about where, like in, I see you're from the UK. I don't know where you are in the UK, but I'm just pretending. Looking for my next full-time role in London. Great. You get a sense, right? And if I took this back and I change this, what does full-time position link to? It's just underlined, I guess. And then I edit this text. And I guess this is super hacky. This is not the correct way. If I was actually coding this, I would use more appropriate things, but this is just hacky. Is Nicholas in the chat? I hope not. I hope Nicholas is sleeping because I think it's like 2 a.m. for him. But hopefully he's gonna check out this video. Good question, Rye. But yeah. Cool. Read more about me. Great. We can read more about him. We actually will take a look at that. It's interesting that's what he invites us to do next. Let's actually follow that. So it looks like, that's what he's asking us to do first. So let me go and check it out. We get the same kind of thing. It actually looks, except for the stuff I changed, it's identical. So to me, that's flagging, there's not a strong information hierarchy, right? This looks the same as this page. What's different? How do I know where I am, that this is about him? Right? By the way, this font size is super comfortable for me. Oh my goodness. I have a problem with my eyes, condition with my eyes that can make it more or less. It's always some level of blurry, but I can have better days and I can have worse days. And I use a lot of eye drops. But this is super comfortable. What's even better, this size text and less text. What I'm looking for in About page, and I actually usually don't look at this first, is I'm looking for usually after the work, because first I want to check out the work and see, based on the work, am I interested in this person? Do they kind of meet the bar of interest? And then I'll go to the About page and say, like, okay, cool. Is this an interesting person even outside of work? So the photo meets my recommendation for photo, and something that I always recommend people to do with their photo on their About page is photo that you're smiling. So you look happy, because we like to work with happy people and be happy and friendly. And the second thing I recommend people do is to share a photo that's like one that Nicholas would share with a friend, right? This is a nice photo he might share. It's not like it's not a headshot for LinkedIn. This is a nice photo. Why? Because you get so much context. Okay, Nicholas is outdoors, right? He's not scared to go outside. Yay. There's interesting things like, oh, he has a watch. It's not an Apple Watch, but like an old school watch. That's interesting. I wonder if there's a story about that. And of course, he's got this guitar here. So, and he's holding it. So maybe he plays guitar, right? That's interesting. It does. He even uses figure caption, which I think is fantastic. I love it when images have figure captions. Why would you show less? What happens if you do that? Just navigate it back to the page. Oh, is that what this is? Oh, wait, that's so weird. All right, this is totally going to derail me, and I need to get back to the About Me thing. But let me just amuse me for 1 minute. So this almost reads like a expand, right? Look at this experience. It looks like the page grew, and it says show less. So it feels like this kind of accordion thing, but the URL is changing. So that's quite confusing. There's different pages, but it actually, to the user looking at it now, if I didn't see this, block the URL, it just looks like something expanding. So even things like that, like this is something that I'm definitely thinking about when I look at people's portfolio. Is their portfolio site well designed and provide a good experience? So there's some awkward stuff going on there. Think about these patterns. Maybe look for some other places for inspiration on how you develop that good information hierarchy. All right, and then back to this, like things I'm interested in. Coding my portfolio site from scratch. Okay, so that's cool. And if you do that, it should be really solid. So actually, to me, this is I'm glad to see that Nicholas is doing this, and I also see that he has quite a ways to go in terms of learning about like proper HTML and things. For example, there's an H3 with a div inside it, which is weird. Like, why is there a div inside? Usually you'd have the div outside. Is this really a heading? I mean, this is a lot of text. Are these being used appropriately? This is heading 1, these little email things. This is heading 2. Those don't make sense. They're not even in the right order. So, I mean, there's a lot to be said for the quality of the coding of his portfolio site. It's great that you're going to do it. If you do choose to do it, you should do it really well. Like, you should think about, now I'm hesitant to go look at mine. I feel like I probably have some gaps, but I think for the most part, I deliver a production level experience and mostly production quality code or markup, as they say. So yeah, be careful with that. If you're new to coding and you're learning this stuff, great. Like, keep experimenting. That's how you learn this kind of stuff. And think about if you're ready and if that's going to make the thing that you built yourself is going to make the impact that you want and then the impression that you want. Or if you're better off, great, kind of have your own, working on it and using some other platform where you can get started really quickly. I even think it would be awesome to see more no code portfolios, right? So I think, if you're really ambitious and you want to show you're a cutting edge designer, like, build your portfolio in Notion and make it public. Like, you could literally build your portfolio with a collection of public links. Just saying, if you're the first one to do it, please flag me so I can check it out. I would love to see no-code portfolios. These are the kinds of docs that we're creating at work that we're sharing with each other. Why not have your portfolio use the same technology and tools? All right, let's go ahead and check out this case study. So a thing about case studies, and this movement, by the way, this movement is super distracting, at least for me talking right now. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to follow all of this stuff. So I would encourage Nicholas to think about how many things is he really showing here? Can he break it down into even smaller pieces? And is there a way to give the user a little bit more control about what's going on the page? For example, like hovering over something to start it playing, like swapping out a static image and an animated image on hover, something like that. Anywho, Reverb's listing process was lacking in communication capabilities for guitar sellers. Try saying that 3 times fast. So, first of all, something I like about this, I like that Nicholas is focused on why this project existed. Why is the most important question that you can answer in a case study, and I think there are many whys. It's just a series of answering why is pretty much a strategy for creating a good case study. And it starts with, why did this project exist, right? Why would anyone invest in this project? Why does the business care? So we do get a little bit about, there's some sort of problem, right? Reverb's listing process was lacking in communication capabilities for guitar sellers, but it's also abstract. It's abstracted away from what the real problem is. What's the real problem for users and the business, right? It could be something like 90% of people who tried to list their guitar through Reverb's listing process bounced or left. They abandoned the flow. They gave up, right? What does that mean for the business? Well, assuming that Reverb's, I don't even know what Reverb is, an online music marketplace where musicians can sell gear. Great. So presumably Reverb makes money when people use the platform to sell things. So if there are not enough people selling things, the business will not be sustainable. So it could be something like that. Boosting, I'm thinking of an impact focused statement too that could be exciting. Something like increased revenue by 14% by improving the listing process for guitar sellers, right? So impact focus, I think, is another good title for a case study, because this doesn't really get at the human or business problem, and it's also very ambiguous. What does communication capability even mean? In terms of context, getting the timeline is helpful. Linking to prototypes, my big thing about linking to prototypes is don't do it unless you're setting the viewer up to participate in a usability test, because that's what prototypes are for, at least when we share them and have other people look at them and use them. Tireless case specific before blah 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 blah. The problem, so long, don't want to read. This is where things say like the problem. This is where I wish Nicholas would just tell me the problem instead of saying the problem. Like, what is the problem? Reduces chance of refund. So is that what was the problem, right? Reverb was dealing with a lot of unhappy customers asking for refunds, and it was hurting the business. Is that the problem? I don't know. So refunds, negative reviews, and distrust. So there's a lot of things, right? Turning around. Yeah, there's so many things that you could focus on. You could focus on each one of those. Preventing refunds, preventing negative reviews, increasing trust, right? Whether you spin it as the problem or the opportunity. I see the words I love, success metric, love it. This problem is number of guitar sales without refund. So here's what it can be. It can be reducing the refund rate for guitar sellers. That's it. You don't need to say anything else. Could be for guitar sellers on Reverb's marketplace, right? You could expand it to say what it is. That kind of title really helps me understand what's going on. This is the final prototype, but I don't really know what's going on. Notice the guitar specific tips and photo suggestions. Title your listing. Things move too quickly. This is where I think potentially static images are breaking this thing down, right? So there's some tips on like how to get good photos. You can add a photo, front, body, close up, full length. Nicholas did some lean research, right? Looking at reviews. That's a great place to figure out what problems users are having. So this is great. I like that he's got a few examples here, some evidence, and talks about what these are, suggesting shortcomings. Cool, I can follow that process pretty easily. Here's some YouTube. So here are some sellers. So this is the buyer side. So that might be helpful to make this a little bit more clear, right? What story you're telling. You're telling, here's problem on the buyer side. Here's the seller side. Some advice that people are doing, right? They're sharing advice, trying to avoid refunds as well. Pain points. Over communicating to buyers was necessary. Is that a pain point, or is this just something they learned? I'm not sure. Many sellers were unaware, confused about photo requirements. Okay, many sellers confused about photo requirements. When you're highlighting things, I always recommend making sure it's a complete thought, right? Over communicating to buyers was necessary. Could be a complete thought, but doesn't sound like one. This one definitely isn't, right? Confused about the photo requirements. Many sellers confused about photo requirements. Great. That one's clear. That's a pain point. Some sellers made clear uselessness of Reverb's advice. Okay, pain point. Was that really a pain point, or did they just ignore it? So usually for a pain point, I'm expecting things like can't, confused, frustrated by, right, upset with, blah, blah, blah. So I get there are some pain points buried in here. For me, I think the seller's confusion about photo requirements is probably the clearest one out of these three. Does the current listing system exacerbate these pain points? Okay. And went through calling out some things. No sign of photo requirements. Upload photos. Yup. Tip and suggestion. I like these little call outs. I wish it was even less text. I wish they were even quicker to read. Only way to, yeah. Only chat for help. No pain point 1. No self-serve help. Boom. No self-serve help can replace all of this text. Tip and suggestion tagged on the side. Do not share enough screen real estate. Don't understand what that means. notice the link to an external how-to page. Okay, so maybe issue with proximity and timing, right? If here's where you're looking to upload your photos, then maybe this information should be closer in proximity. That makes sense, right? So issues with proximity and then missing requirements. Overall, the structure of Nicholas's case study is actually fairly easy to follow. I quite like some of the way this is set up. I have no idea what's going on here. Could the pain points be resolved? Priority guides. What are priority guides? Priority guides put a focus on content hierarchy within a mobile first approach. Interesting. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. I almost feel this would be more powerful if it was smaller like this. Like if Nicholas had just focused on this one, right? And this one, and whatever the three things are pointing to. And are these pain points or are these solutions? I think these are solutions because I think these were pain points. So that's confusing because I feel like this is his attempt at starting to solve things. Great. So yeah, this definitely shows his process with some evidence. Then he has these revised features. Does this look better than what I saw before? Yeah. And I'm actually able to scan through it. Actually, I think this is pretty unique. I want to give Nicholas some special claps and props for using imagery fairly effectively to make this scannable. I think there's definitely some areas that can be stronger in thinking about how do you cut down on the text? How do you make the pain points crystal clear, right? If they're not crystal clear, think about cutting them because if it's not crystal clear, you're just adding confusion. Number 2, right? Many sellers are confused about photo requirements. Boom. Great. Sellers want to they want to make sure that buyers have all the information. So sellers couldn't put all the information they felt was necessary into their listing, right? That's the pain point. Can't. What can't they do? Great. And then you show us how you did it. Going deep into one of these things, like maybe it's the photo taking one, could be pretty interesting. I'd say think about that as a generally good case study, kind of T-shaped, where you go a little bit broad and shallow level, and then you pick one particular feature or aspect and you go deeper on that one, right? T-shaped. So for me, I think the photo, adding photos, this is probably the most valuable, right? In terms of a buyer being able to judge the condition. If there's sufficient and really good photos, that's probably the best signal that they can get. So I think this process is probably one of the most important. And these other ones, not. Like, I would say these other things you could maybe talk about or mention together, right? Really briefly. And then what's this? Further control needed over what buyers are. I don't know what this is. Oh, got it. So, and then he did some usability testing. So I think, again, making it more clear, like what happened next. What's an artifact or imagery that can communicate, Nicholas, that you did some usability testing with some of these sellers who had these negative reviews. That's fantastic. It looks like you're like super proactive. You're doing this stuff on your own. Like, you don't need to call yourself aspiring UX designer. Like, you just went through a pretty legit process for coming up with some of these things. I think the big thing was like success metric. You might not be able to measure that. So one thing to think about, I'm going to go all the way back up to success metrics, right? Number of guitar sales without refund. So unless I don't know that you're actually working with Reverb. I feel like this is more of like something you saw a need for some design help, and then you went and did it on your own without anyone telling you what to do, which is fantastic. However, I'm not sure that you can measure this number. So even these kind of projects, right, where maybe Reverb was not paying you to do this work, but you wanted to do it anyways because you're a UX designer, pick a success metric. This is great. Like, tell the business what they should be measuring, but also pick a success metric for your project, right? Compare the existing experience of listing with your prototype experience of listing. You can get people's satisfaction score. How many people prefer your listing design with the current listing design? That's all you need. You can, of course, talk about the business, what the business should be measuring. Great. That shows that you have that product thinking, that product sensibility. That's fantastic. Also think about what you can measure on your own. Next steps, great. Put them into bullets or something easy to scan. I can't read this. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff there. You reached the end of my UX journey so far. One project, huh? Okay, so that's not super compelling, but you could, great. This was the end of this project. What might you say here? Let's see. Need someone to help solve your customers' biggest problems through design? Let's talk. Make a pitch. I think this is your opportunity to pitch. Don't downplay yourself. Don't, highlight the fact that you did one project. This is your pitch time. So I would even think about reducing the space, because I think you want to go right into this successful case study where you have those metrics and you're showing the impact that you had through your work. And then it's like, do you want results like that? Right? I mean, that's even something you could say. Do these results look good to you? Do you want some of this? Like, let's talk. Cool. All right. Well, I'm super grateful for Nicholas. This was there's all kinds of stuff going on here and quite unique stuff, right? He's like self-coding it. His case study was actually pretty short in terms of guiding things through, used imagery really well. A lot of good takeaways and also good opportunities for Nicholas to make his portfolio site work even harder for him. So I'm going to give some claps in chat, as I like to do. And I see Rise been patient and asking nicely if we have time for one more to look at one more portfolio. So let's look at one more real quick. Let's check out Rise. I'm gonna grab the link. Where's my browser? All right. Here we go. This one will be, I'm going to go even lighter though, so I can have some time to make a little bit of progress on some stuff tonight too. Okay. Here's Rise. By the way, if you like your Rye as a nickname, that might be what you put here as well, or tell people how to pronounce it. Little logo mark. Yeah, I get it. Like, I think I used to play with things. I think now I just use I copy like what the big companies do, right? What does Google do? What does Facebook do? What does Airbnb do? What does every big company do? Their logo goes from something like creative and fancy to just plain text. So, text. My avatar. Boom. Yeah, it's like, you're not Nike. It's not recognizable. If you like it and it brings you happiness, cool. Maybe consider putting your name as well, just so it's super clear. Oh, cool. I opened up like 10 portfolios. All right. Whose is this one? There's nothing up here to tell me and kind of look, but if I have a ton of tabs, this will, you know, this won't even show me the text. Design simple, solve problems. Hopefully that's what every designer does. Like, I don't know that you need taglines. If I was like an editor, if you're hiring me, right, to be an editor, I'd just cut that out. A digital designer with a strong focus on UI UX. Okay, that's interesting. One of the tips I have about titles is when you're looking at job posts, for example, at AngelList, right? So let's see, what are the titles that we see in San Francisco? Full-time designer. We see brand designer. We see product UX design lead. Product UX design. Well, that's a new one. Product designer. I think this is the hot one. This is my title, and I think that most people who are really thinking about product thinking and including that business aspect and being more holistic, like, this is our new title. I'll still keep UX because at the end of the day, the UX is the product and is the business. So like all these titles are still really interchangeable, but the current trend seems to be that product designer is like the hot title. Product design director, senior web designer. Wow, I haven't seen that in a while. Web designer. Product design, marketing, brand, product designer, just designer. That one's also, yeah, when are we just going to get to this, right? UI, UX designer, lead designer, marketing, product, in parentheses, UI, UX, right? It's funny. It's clearly confusion in the marketplace around what do you call these people? What are we looking for? I didn't see any digital designers. I did see a UI UX, but maybe product designer. If you want to connect, look at the job post that you feel you're qualified for and you feel like you're gonna, be amazing and are exciting to you. Look at what those titles are and then use that title. That's my recommendation. It's a simple, I'd say the headings are nice and large. The text is like UI level, like reasonable. It's not too small. It gets a little bit hard for me to see, like, to learn more things. In terms of the visual layer, it's modern in the sense that it's responsive, right? That's great. It's modern in the sense that it's using these sans serif fonts. It's using kind of these rows of different sections. And also, it also looks dated to me. Like, the colors and the imagery, to me, feel dated. So if someone told me, like, this was a portfolio that someone worked on, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, that wouldn't surprise me. So I think there's the potential for looking at what are some things you can do to. I think another thing to it is it's like a rainbow. I feel like there's nothing consistent. There's just all these little sections, so it doesn't really feel like this site has its own visual language that's guiding everything. Does that make sense? I think that's another aspect of it. And then just these kind of solid, right? The choice of colors and the fact that they're just solid colors, no texture, no, nothing special, to me lends itself to a little bit older. In terms of the number of projects that I see, great. I feel like this is someone who's been doing design for a little while, and yeah, across, different types of devices and things. A complete redesigned web coming soon. So I don't know about coming soon. I was holding that. More coming soon. I don't know if this counts. Like, if you don't have anything to say about them except coming soon, you might consider just putting them off, thinking about what you can do. Just focus on getting something in. If it's not ready, I would recommend just cutting it. Okay. Because, well, this is interesting. What's process? All right. I don't know if Rai made these diagrams. If he made these, that's kind of cool. If he made these, it's super cool. Did you make these? Or did you get these from somewhere? In general, talking about a process, design process, to me is a huge flag that this is a very junior designer. Because I feel that experienced designers and people who are hiring experienced designers understand that experienced designers understand the different kinds of things they can do to get from point A to point B, or to get from the start to the finish line. And in fact, you really have to speak in these kind of generalities, right? When you talk about process, because depending on the situation and the context of the project, you're not going to do exactly the same thing every time. You don't need to go do a field study for every single project. You don't need to have a bunch of user interviews or contextual inquiries for every single project, right? For certain projects, it's going to be very important. It's going to be critical, right, to helping you set yourself up for success. And others, it's not. So, I mean, I think these diagrams are really cute and fun. So, like, maybe you can sell these if you made them. Do a little Gumroad thing. But it wouldn't be something that I would call a lot of attention to in a portfolio. Because I think the important thing is to show how you've applied a specific process to a specific case study. So, assuming that the first project is people's strongest case study, I'll call it this. Like, this is the very common pattern, right? Subifi. I have no idea what that is. It means nothing to me except it has the word beefy in it. So I think about meat. It doesn't mean anything. In order to help people pick which case study they're going to check out, please provide a descriptive headline. Remember, something that talks about why this project exists or some of the impact, right? This is a story. So what's the story's title? It's definitely not Sabifi. That's not the best title for this case study. So that's a really easy way to start off on a right foot, make a good first impression with a clear, impactful title. Comprehensive platform to view and manage overall subscriptions. Okay, great. That's what it is, but what is not interesting, or it's not the most interesting. The most interesting is why. Why is the question to focus on. I'm just going to see, can I click on this image? No. Can I click on this? No. Just learn more. All right. Click on it. It's loading. Is there some giant image taking a lot of space? Why is it so slow? Whew. Right, so there's a huge image, I'm guessing. There may be other huge images too. Just gonna see how big it is. It's background image. Just gonna open it up in a new tab. Yeah, it's pretty big, right? It's 1600 by 1250, right? It's a really large image. Great. Does it do work? Like, what work does it do? Doesn't really tell me anything. There's a bee. And there's Netflix. And it's really expensive. Apparently. I don't know. Is that how much you've paid to date? Anyways. Context. When did this happen? Right? So some of the context that we saw in Nicholas's portfolio, right? The duration, why the project existed, right? What was the big problem, success metrics, all that kind of stuff is really important. Introduction, not so important. Manage the subscription, engineering, billing, sellers are tired and unmanaged process. Is it? Like, what's your evidence? I subscribe to, I don't know, a handful of entertainment things. I have almost everything. I have investments, I have billing, I have everything I possibly can set on automated billing cycles and subscriptions. So it's literally zero work for me. So I'm just telling you my personal experience with subscription and billing cycles. I think it's amazing. Automate everything. Love it. So for me to read this, I think, this smells funny. Like, I don't have this problem. Am I just alone? Do other people have a problem with these things? Where's the evidence? So I'm looking for some evidence to like make this case, right? According to Newswire reports, 66% of people juggle various subscription services. But what does that mean? What does it mean to juggle subscription services? Just because they're doing it doesn't mean that it's a problem. Doesn't mean there are any problems, right? So really want to see some better problem definition in terms of providing clear evidence and the impact that it's having. Maybe it means going out and doing some research to test. Because again, the biggest thing is why, right? Why did this project exist? Why would someone hire someone to tackle this problem? The best thing a designer can do first is say, well, let me check to see if this is a real and painful problem, right? Because if it doesn't have a big enough market, right? If there's not enough people with the problem, or if it's not painful enough, then there's not really a business, right, to solve it. It doesn't make sense as a business to solve this problem if there are not enough people with the problem and it's not painful enough for them. Challenges for me. Is this me? You? I'm thinking about the language. Understand the thriving subscription market in a short period. Add new features. Restructure. I don't even know if this is a real thing or what. Is this something that... So here's someone in Algeria. Who did this work? Is this Algerian guy? Rai, is this you? Is someone stealing your work? Oh, teammate. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. It's like, uh-oh. Great. So is this something that you're building? You both made it. Okay. So remote design sprint and you made it. So yeah, so great. The whole kind of like founder maker mentality, also super great. If it's directed in the right place, like how are you convinced that this is a problem that needs to be solved? Like that you're solving a problem with this app that you're building? I mean, maybe maybe you're just like getting something really quick, something really simple and easy out there quick and seeing if people download it and use it. Like the market will definitely tell you if it's, a problem that they're having and if this solves their problem, right? I don't get it. I'm not getting it from this case study that there's a problem to be solved. I don't understand. If in fact is just like, I'm scratching my own itch. I have this problem. This is super annoying for me. That's legit. Like you can also use that. It doesn't always have to be something big, right? Scratching your own itch, solving your own problem. It can be an exercise in going through some of these things, but I think it's important to call that out too, if that's the situation. And just understand that for those kind of cases, it's a little bit harder for a hiring manager or a recruiter to say like, okay, this person like identified their own problems and knows it really well. Do they have like, can they get to this level of understanding about other people's problems as well? So this might be one that you want to think about segmenting. How can you transition from this or highlight, hey, if you want to see something with like other people's problems, like here's another case study to check out. I like focusing on responsibilities. Great. How can you create bullets? Little things, right? Framing the problem statement. I didn't really get the problem statement. Conducting user research. I didn't get any of that yet. Probably finding target audience. Who are they? Structuring information architecture. Cool. These are opportunities to look at job posts as well. See what those tasks and responsibilities are. So you can use the exact same language. Management responsibilities. Oh, here's where we get these things here. Great. So here's where you bring in some of the other folks. That would be great content too. Like I worked on this as a team. And one thing I'll highlight about teamwork is it's really important to be able to tell the story of what you did. Oftentimes I get projects, I see case study projects where they talk about we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. I get to the end of it and I'm like, I have no clue what the designer did. I know what they did. I know what the team did, but I have literally zero idea what this person did. So you don't want to leave recruiters and hiring managers in that position. So make sure it's very clear. So this was something that you did in 6 days. So that would be something, again, you could bubble up in the top. Again, design process for me, this is, it calls out to me like junior designer. Just show. You don't always need to tell, right? I think figuring out how to get that balance of like showing and telling. For example, in Nicholas, the portfolio case that we just saw, right? I was able to navigate from top down and I got a sense of like the process and things that he was thinking about largely through a bunch of the images and things that he had. He didn't have to go through and tell me like, I did this, and I did this, and this, right? So it's great. I'm glad you did all these things. These are cool. Maybe there's some special things you want to call out. Maybe not. Depends. Like the other thing to think about is what do you want someone to remember after they read this case study? What do you want them to remember about you? And make sure that you're also going back and checking to see that you have sufficient focus there. See how many subscriptions. Credit card statement. Yeah, this is my, like, here. Credit card statement, email renewals, right? I don't know. I feel like it's super easy to go and check your credit card statement and see that kind of stuff. But 5 people. Here's the feedback. This is the feedback. I think there's gaps here. Whoops. What am I doing? Right? Like, I guess I'm subscribed to 5 to 6 services. I don't know the total cost I'm paying for all of them. So someone might say like, oh, that's a problem. This person doesn't know the total cost. That's a big problem. But you have to ask this person, does that matter? Do you care? If their answer is no, I don't care. I don't need to know the total. I'm subscribing to these things and I pay for them and I'm perfectly happy paying for them. Right? Knowing this total doesn't have value to me. Right? So we don't get that part. So these are just little things that I would be thinking about and asking about and saying like, I'm not so sure about this. Like I'm not bought in to this yet. Survey highlights big percentage numbers. What does this mean? An ability to monitor or edit all your subscriptions under one platform. 81%. What does that mean? 81% of the 5 people said that they would like this. So they're not aware of the total money. Okay. Tend to check their repayment date through bank accounts or text message. Okay. So this is all interesting information, but it doesn't necessarily speak to any problem. I don't get the sense that there's any problem here yet, looking at this. How might we questions? Then you did some more stuff. So this is what I'm talking about these really broad, shallow case studies that go on forever. We fixated on a 2-year goal specified as be adaptable to the changes in the subscription model. I don't know what that means. I don't know who is this a goal for? What is this a goal for? Here's a hypothesis that comes up suddenly. Subscribers want a comprehensive platform to view and manage their overall subscription, but can't because every app or service has its own distinct method to subscribe and pay. I don't know, like if you have credit cards, like you could put everything on a credit card, right? Or you have an aggregator like Mint, right? Or other things where you you hook up all your bank accounts and your credit cards, and then you can see aggregation. So yes, it's a hypothesis. Is it one to invest in? I don't know. This is a little bit hard to read. I think it's an image as well. Okay, at least I can zoom in. That's nice. Persona. I'm allergic to personas only because most of the time I see them, I think, why were they created for this project? Like, did you really need it? How did you use it? And for most projects, I see there's this like persona creation, and then I literally never see Gabriella or Bella. I never see this person mentioned. So let's do the little test. Here's what I do when I see persona. I search Gabriella, 0 mentions. Bella, 0 mentions. So then I ask myself, what's the point? Why did these people waste their time on something they didn't even use? Like this looks like a decent amount of time was spent like just creating this thing here. So to me that feels like wasted time that they could have been using to like do better problem validation. Right? If you're not gonna use personas, great. Not every project needs persona. My 2 cents is like, if you have access to users and you can talk with real customers and things, like you don't need personas. Talk with them, watch them, test your stuff with them. They're gonna tell you what needs to change. This can be very helpful. I found personas can be helpful internally to talk about different kinds of groups and segments and planning and things, but I've honestly found them to be more useful for that kind of internal stuff, internal communications and planning, than for any super specific thing in the design. Because at the end of the day, you really want to just internalize your users' wants and needs, constraints, all that stuff. Ideating some lightning demos. They saw this, they got inspired by some things. Oh my goodness. Never ends. Never ends. All right, so what's the point? Like, how is success going to be measured for this thing? I don't know. What did you learn? It's a team game. And there's long paragraphs I don't want to read. What's next? Few features for the next app. All right, so I mean, it fits a very kind of common pattern, right, of many case studies that I see. It's very broad. It's very shallow. It tries to cover a lot of stuff. It's not clear what the person actually did. Right? It's not clear what you actually contributed or how you contributed. And the most important thing though, like honestly, I would never even look to any of this. Like, here's how far I would get if I'm reviewing candidates. I would look here I don't see a clear problem statement or why this problem should be invested in, and I'll just go to the next one or leave. Because there's nothing here that tells me, oh, this is an important problem to solve, and we should invest in it. Now, I could be totally wrong, right? But I didn't get it from the information here. So I think that's the biggest thing to focus on, is really driving home like what this problem is or what this potential opportunity is, and providing some clear evidence to support that, to get people to follow along on, oh, okay, this is something worth investing in. Does that make sense? Outside of just having a fun project. Like if you just want to learn about building apps and you want to like, this is just like a fun side project that you're doing, cool. You can have it be that, but it would be helpful if it's framed as that, and if you're identifying success metrics and the impact that this is going to have. Oh, Janice, I thought maybe you were in Japan. Are you still on for your Japan trip? The coronavirus is like causing crazy things. I know I canceled originally I was going to go to China in April. That's canceled. And we'll reschedule eventually someday. But yeah. All right. Hope that's helpful, right? I'm going to take one peek at your about page. Just see like, great. Smiling. This is a little bit more of a headshot. It'd be really nice, right, if there's more context. Actually, this kind of thing is pretty fun. Competitive swimmer and coach. Oh, that's cool. So outside, I love swimming. I'm definitely not a professional swimmer. I just love being in the water. I can, like float and swim around and hang out in the water all day. But I don't do like swim. I don't race. I don't do all that stuff. I just have fun. But see, these are places where you can have a connection. When you make things easy to scan like this, it's like, wow, cool. I already found one personal connection with Rye. And I think that's the big opportunity here. Instead of having paragraphs of text, what can you do to call little things out so that you increase the chance that the person reading this will find a personal connection with you? That's the big thing. Design communities. Cool. Great. And these are linked. Fantastic. I love it when people link stuff. Alrighty. Janice, what's up with what's going on with Japan trip? I'm at the edge of my yoga ball that I sit on while I do this. Alright, claps for Rye. Thank you for sharing. And I'm gonna get to work on, where did I put those things? Here I've got some tasks. Contest launch stuff. So Dan Petty had this challenge, right? Oh my goodness, like 2 years ago? It's been a while. You're welcome. Maybe I have to go to Twitter. Search Twitter, Dan Petty, spaced. Huh. All right, how do I find... Just do Twitter? Twitter, space challenge. There we go. All right, let's see if I can... how do I find... Not from anyone. How do I find... I want to find... Okay. Wait. Are there a million people named that? Oh, he's got 2 N's. There we go. The second N is silent. All right. So if I search, can I search his tweets? How do I do this? How do you search an individual person's tweet? You can tell this is not something I do regularly. Dan Petty. The two N's, I gotta admit, make him a lot easier to find. Looks like. Spaced challenge. Ugh. Is this just how sucky Twitter search is? Is it just like, can I not find? I'm literally like, I want to find a specific tweet. I know Dan tweeted it. I'm pretty sure. I have 99% confidence that Dan Petty made a tweet about this space challenge thing he did 2 years ago. How do I find that tweet? Is this just a lost cause? How to search a person's tweets. Go to Twitter. Log in. Go to Twitter Advanced Search. Ah, okay. How do you do that? More. I don't see anything. It's only last year. How do you go to Twitter Advanced? How to use Advanced Search? My goodness. Twitter company value. How much is Twitter worth? How can I find that out? $29.8 billion. A $29.8 billion communication company, Twitter, can't make it easier to do what I want to do, to find a tweet on a topic from a specific person. It's incredible, right? So if you ever feel like, you ever feel a little bit of imposter syndrome, or like, oh, maybe I'm not quite qualified for this job and stuff, like, really? Like, there are people getting paid boatloads, crazy money at Twitter, and, I can't believe I'm the first person in the history of Twitter to want to find a topic, some tweets on a topic from a specific person. Now, there may be business reasons they don't want me to find that. I can't think of what they might be, but my goodness. Enter your search. Click Advanced Search, located underneath Search Filters in the upper right. So you have to go to the results page. Okay, all right, let's try this. Advanced Search. There we go. Why isn't that more discoverable? That's my rant for the day from these accounts. Does it do auto? Look, it doesn't even offer me suggestions. So if I don't remember the random dude's handle, I have to go back and look. It's ridiculous. Everything's worse when you're a designer, right? Because you know that, like, these people have, like, other priorities, and this is definitely not their top priority. But it's just so painful. All right, I gotta go back. I gotta copy this. I'll just do a general search and then I'll go from the years. Okay, cool. I'm gonna start taking screenshots. Interesting. He launched this thing almost around the same time. Space Challenge 2.0. I want to find where he announced it. Here we go. Here's another one that's relevant. Oh, this is gold. This is gold. I love it. Oh my god, I'm gonna use all this stuff. Okay, great. I don't know why I keep doing these individual things. I should probably just... copy this whole thing. Alright, that's what I'm doing. This is silly. Doing all these different screenshots. Let me do this. Alright, where's the first one? Okay, there's one. Great, I'm getting it. Inspiration. I don't know how far this is gonna go. Alright, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna get all the things. Join my, there we go. There's a good one. Alright. Okay, that's it. Whew, we made it to the end. Thanks for being patient. Like, someone's scrolling. You can bookmark it. Oh, I can bookmark the individual tweets? Or can I save this whole search? Save search. Ha. Thanks, Try. I don't know if that's exactly what you meant, but I'm also going to do that. Save search. Cool. Now, what I can do, I think I'm using Airtable. This is going to be a little social media game. It's also important about being a product designer is marketing, right? That's part of it. So, okay, this is it. I'm going to open. Let's see if I can open. Oh man, we only have a few minutes. Only have a few minutes left. All right. Post content. I'm just gonna start adding these submissions for, and then I just replace UX design. UX. How am I gonna do this? UX design contest. I have to figure out what's the capitals I should use. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Are now closed. And then crying face. Okay. Now I have to go through thousands of these things. Super excited. Great. Oh, how do I put a... Oh, sweet. It maintains the return. That's fantastic. Cool. This is Twitter. Great. All right, next. There's definitely not going to be thousands. All right. And I'm totally blocking the chat as I see this. Dozens. If dozens submitted, that would be amazing. The thing is, I'm not giving away MacBook Pros, so a lot of people do a lot of stuff for a MacBook Pro. Can't blame them. I don't have MacBook Pro prize money. Dozen submitted. 3 made it to the finale. 1, blah, blah, blah. Surprises. Okay. The UX design contest 12. Number 12. Finale is here. And that link to YouTube. Destination URL, youtube.com, blah, blah, blah. Cool. And then I've got this fun thing. Let's see. How can I drag it into a tab? Oh my goodness, I can. Now, if only I could scan this image. If I could do Command F and find announcing. Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be amazing? It's a dream feature. Chrome text image search. Ooh, I like this one a lot. Look at this one. It's getting feedback. So let me pop this out. This is going to be tricky. All right, let's see if I can align my windows up. I've literally only got a couple minutes left, so I'll have to take this offline. This will be more weekend stuff. Attention, UX design, contest, designers. If you got something good out of the challenge, a job, a project, more community, anything positive, will you please send me a 10-second video telling me how it helped you? I'm wordsmithing as I go. I want to put it in the next contest video. Love it. All right. Here it is. Here's a simple one. Join UX design contest number 12. Win $100 for your charity. A one-on-one video call with design mentor Adam Ruff and a portfolio review. Maybe. Prizes TBD. Deadline is February, I think it's 28th? I don't know where my calendar is. Calendar, February, show me the month. Is 1/2/27th. Can we do Friday the 28th? Friday, February 28th. Maybe. And then link. Deadline is Friday, February 28th to improve an experience, improve a site or app that you love. And write a case study. Okay. All right. That's it for tonight. I gotta go get dinner started and finish that up on the weekend, because tomorrow I still got another full day of work. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Special. This is something where actually, let me do something a little fun here. Where is it? Can't see anything. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do this. Snazzy. Thank you, especially Rye, Jenny, Ralph, and Janice. I think that's everyone who is popping up. Did I miss anyone? I think we got everyone. Boom. There we go. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. Be healthy. Drink plenty of water. And happy designing. Hope to see you next week when I will officially announce UX Design Contest numero 12. All right. Until then, happy designing. Bye, y'all.